Good morning, guys. It's Nick at Optima PS. I hope you're all well. Thanks once again for coming back to my channel. And as ever, if you do like what I say today, please click that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Drop me some comments as well. Any comments, mention XRP. That really does work well with the algorithms on YouTube. So really appreciate it. But yeah, I wanted to get into today's video. I've not done one for a while again. As I keep saying, I only really pop up and do these when I think I bring some value. But I just wanted to look at the market and where we're at the moment, right? It's interesting times. This thing is moving faster now than I ever thought possible. And I was always an adamant believer. From the moment I first did that deep dive and looked into this project, the greater crypto project, I've always known this was coming. Since the election in the US, since the positivity from a crypto point of view when it comes to the new Senate, the new leader, and everything else, things are now moving faster than I ever thought possible. I knew Ripple were working in the background to get all these agreements in place, partnerships in place. I knew they were laying the foundations. I still think there's a little bit more to go. I don't think we're going to see anything like mass utility adoption next week or next month. But I'm now looking at this market with the eye I originally had on the next bull run. I thought this would be mainly retail based, which I still think it is predominantly. But in the same respect, I thought we would see slower progress when it comes to the overall development of the infrastructure, the foundations, the tracks, whatever you want to call it. I thought we would see beginnings of movement, tiny green shoots coming from the banks, coming from the institutions, coming from the governments. We're now realizing that behind the scenes they were doing a hell of a lot more than they ever told us. Despite certain governments putting things in place to slow things down, which I think we've all seen the evidence of now, they were still working behind the scenes to make sure they were making progress in that way. And now we're going to see things accelerate in a way that probably brings forward my timeline for the beginnings of utility adoption. I don't think that necessarily means this utility bull run. I don't think we're going to see $10,000 per coin this time round. I think that we may never see that at all, to be perfectly honest. But I don't think we're going to see the finalization of that process anytime soon. It's going to be a 5 to 10 year transition anyway. But I think if we can see real headway during this bull run, then that will begin to be priced in. And I think it's really exciting times, to be perfectly honest. And before I get into the video, as ever, you know me by now, my name's Nick. I am a financial advisor, but I'm absolutely not your financial advisor. So anything I say today should be taken as just the opinion of a guy on the internet trying to share some thoughts in the hope that it brings you some value. So where are we in the markets? Always a good place to start. Bitcoin's just shy of 102,000, back up over that 100 mark, which is a great result. We needed that to happen. Depends which side of the fence you sit on. There's one train of thought that says Bitcoin always leads the way. A high Bitcoin drags everything else with it. I think the phrase is a rising tide lifts all ships or all boats. But in the same respect, there's other people that say, well, Bitcoin's dominance has got to drop before we see the alt season really crank into gear. And most people that listen to this channel are more interested in alts than Bitcoin. Otherwise, you'd be listening to a Bitcoin maxi instead of myself. But Bitcoin is doing well, which is always a good sign. About just shy of 10% over the week. Ethereum, same sort of numbers, just shy of 10% over the week. XRP is more like 20, sitting at $2.43 right now, which is nice to see. With XRP, we have that resistance sitting around the 2.4445 mark. We need to break through that with a little bit of momentum to really push on to the next targets, but it's going to come soon. I'm not the technical analysis that other people out there are. I tend to take all my advice when it comes to the charts and the TA from people who are better at it than me. If you're not a world-class TA guy yourself, I highly recommend following the people that are. But in the same respect, you look at the guys out there, and for XRP, the average opinion across the board says we are going to see this rally take another step forwards. Most people think we're going to hit at least all-time highs. More often than not, the opinion is we're going to go way through those all-time highs. People are thinking $7 to $13. Other people are saying $10 to $20. Some people are going much more ambitious than that and saying $50. With all these things, the answer is no one really knows. I don't think anyone's deliberately misleading you, but I think some people have a different outlook on these things. Some people take into account only the charts. Some people take into account the charts plus their knowledge of other areas of the sector. Everyone draws their picture. The way I look at it is up, and I want to go up. We're all in this to make money. The higher the price goes, the more money we make, and everyone's happy. The question as to where we're going to see peaks, I think the charts will tell us that as we approach those points. And I'm going to rely on the technical analysis of people who are better than me to make those decisions. I don't rely on one guy. I tend to look at about 30 or 40 of these guys, and I draw an average picture from that. That's the way I do it. I'm not saying that's the way you should do it. Some people have a price target in mind and say, when it hits this point, that's me out. Some people are waiting for $1,000 in XRP and are prepared to wait a long time. I sit somewhere in the middle of those two lines of thought. But we are seeing all cryptos. If I scroll down across the last week, it's a sea of green, isn't it? Most things are really making headway now. It's always good to see. Fear and greed, we are currently in the greed section. We're not quite as far as extreme greed yet, but people are getting back into the mindset that we're going to see another pump, and that's always good news. So what am I talking about when I say I see that things are making more headway than I ever thought would happen so far? It's exactly that. I'm going to jump on and show you some tweets from some other people because I always like sharing other opinions than mine. I'm going to start off with a ever so slightly negative one. And it's not negative at all, but you'll see what I mean. And this one is from the great Jeremy Hogan. And he's just preparing you for the fact that we're not quite through this yet. And what he says is, I've been getting some cues about the January 15th SEC filing deadline in the Ripple v SEC appeal. Don't be surprised when the SEC brief is filed timely, and don't be dismayed. This is still Gensler's SEC. The filing on January the 15th has no, capital no, effect on whether the case will be settled, brackets I think likely, or dismissed by the new administration. An attorney is working hard on this brief as we speak, knowing that all his effort is probably for naught. Then he says, a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing, perhaps a fitting end to the war on crypto. So it's not bad news, is it? But what he's saying is just be prepared for the fact that the SEC will file. They are going to put that filing in, because this is still Gary Gensler, and despite the fact he's only going to be there another 4 or 5 days after putting that filing in, they're doing everything they can to slow this ship down. That's what they've been doing from the start, and they're not going to stop now. They're probably going to put things in place before they go that need unraveling. What a waste of taxpayers' money. Unless there's something we don't know, unless this is all one huge con, and the new administration are going to come in and declare their own war on crypto, and it was all about pumping prices to rug pullers. I know that isn't the case, or I don't know, but I'm very, 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 very confident that's not the case. But what he's saying here is don't be surprised when they do this. They're still trying to slow things down as much as they can. Who knows? Maybe it comes out in the future that they were doing this for a good reason. Maybe they know that by allowing crypto to fly now, all the banks are going to go bankrupt, there's going to be mass redundancies and kill the global economy. Maybe it's a very, thoughtful, responsible attitude. I doubt it. I think they've got their own agendas, and it probably ends in their pockets being lined when they leave the SEC and take a nice, highly paid job somewhere else. But the simple fact of the matter is they're going to keep doing it for a while. So there's a little bit of a negative start. But then we move through. This is someone called the XRP Guy. I don't know the person. I do follow him. Give him a follow. He comes up with some information every now and again. But what he says is we are now at phase 1 of XRP's rise to dominance. I've used this tweet purely because it states some of the most important things we're going to see soon all in one tweet. RLUSD is released now. Great start. Then we've got the inauguration. Then we've got Gary officially leaves the SEC. We've got Ripple case ends. Alt season starts. Ripple name Big Bank Partnership. I think there should be an S on the end of that. Big Bank Partnerships. XRP ETF approval. All of these things should probably happen this year. I would be very surprised if we don't see all of these happen this year. Can't guarantee it, you never can, but I would be very, very surprised if we don't see all of those things happen this year. And each and every one of them is incredibly bullish for XRP, for the greater crypto world as well. And XRP ETF is great for crypto, not just Ripple holders, or Ripple, not just XRP holders, I should say. And then he finishes with hold, do not sell. I think that's a reasonably safe statement to make. I can't guarantee you when the top will be and when you ought to sell, but I think we're pretty safe to say right now we're all confident we're going to go higher than this, so don't sell yet. Hold on an extra 2 or 3 months if that's all you've got in the locker, but hold for now. We will see prices rise from here. Everyone thinks so, and when everyone thinks so, it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it? So all these points are really, really big deals. Moving through, I don't know if you saw this. This is a incredibly optimistic looking video. So if we just click on this, I'll play it for you.
Another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them. And basically, the Ripple's going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. So they created their own stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it. And there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
these cynics, though, tell me, only put as much in this space as you're willing to lose. Effectively, as of now, some people said it feels like a casino. Do you agree with that?
It's the best example I have is this. Don't not get involved with something. Do whatever you would do for a nice weekend away with your spouse.
Okay.
And instead of doing that weekend, maybe put that in crypto. Here's what I'll tell you, 3 to 5 years from now, you either made some real money or you just lost one weekend together. Not a big deal.
I know, but I could have that vacation.
You could have a vacation or you made your retirement.
Well said. Okay, maybe that's a better...
A great video there. I'm sure you'll agree. Ripple is the tracks, or laying the tracks upon which the trains will run. We're buying the trains, guys. If you want to travel from city A to city B, you do it by train. We don't really care who owns the tracks, right? If you pay me money to travel on my train, I'm a happy guy. That's essentially what we're doing with XRP. I think we're going to see some real positive movement in this market this time. I don't have a price target in mind. I think the charts will tell me instead. Personally, I don't need to take my money out anytime soon, so I'm happy to wait for at least double digits, $10 to $20. Ask me again when I'm looking at a great big fat bag, and with all that risk on the table, I might take some out sooner than I currently plan. I don't think you can make that decision until you're sitting down looking at it, but I'm comfortable waiting for a while. But we're going to see prices that definitely bring a great big fat smile to all our faces in the next 6 months. It's a good time to be in crypto. Smoke Dog, you all know I love Smoke Dog. I follow everything he does. This guy is one of the top researchers in the entire sector. What he's come out with is a tweet here: how Ripple, Stellar and Algorand will be part of the European ledger. Again, I'm going to scroll through this and read you points. I'm not going to read it all the way through. But Target 2, TS2 is Europe's high-value payment and security settlement platform, essentially the European version of SWIFT. That's a big deal there. The European version of SWIFT. That's not quite true, I guess, because Europe has SWIFT as well. It's not just in America, it's a global thing, but we know what he means. In the article linked below, they discuss the transformation of the traditional Target TS2 platform into a DLT-based single financial market infrastructure for Europe, referred to as the European ledger. As shown in the next 3 documents, Ripple, Algorand and Stellar are all highlighted as potential technologies to be integrated into Europe's financial ecosystem, particularly with Target 2. Direct integration between Algorand's DLT platform and Target 2. Target 2 can leverage virtual currency infrastructures such as Ripple. EuroD is currently supported on both Stellar and Algorand blockchains. You notice he doesn't mention Ripple yet. The article explains it well. Central banks provide the rails and market participants supply the trains. That's us, guys. Same thing again. Central banks provide the rails, market participants supply the trains. We're a part of this ecosystem now. We're a part of this sector. Whether you hold 5 million XRP, 500 100 Bitcoins, or if you hold 50 XRP or 500 Satoshis worth of Bitcoin, if you have crypto, you are a part of this ecosystem. You are a stakeholder in the future financial infrastructure. I don't quite know where that money will be made for us all yet. It depends what you hold, it depends where you are, but we know the sector's going to be making money. We know we should come into this and take a piece of that pie, right? So he goes on, Ripple, Stellar, Algorand equal market participants. I'm talking about us being market participants because we own Ripple, Stellar, Algorand, or whatever coins we own. We get a piece of their pie. But they are the market participants. Rails equals DLT based target 2. So in this case, the target 2 thing seems to be there instead of the Ripple network to a certain degree. But again, we're still going to be involved in all these things in one way or form. It's so difficult right now to say exactly where it will go. He goes through to explain it better here. I would say go up, find his tweet, follow him on X, find his tweet, read it through in your own time because it's going to take too much time on my video. Moving through, we've got the Great Barry Sea. This one's nice and simple. XRP will skyrocket very, very soon, rapidly leaving behind $2, blasting its way to 5, then blasting up to 10. Then when people are getting used to the idea of a $10 XRP, that's when we see XRP skyrocket to its next leg up and reach $15 to $20. Then he finishes with, yes, these are conservative prices. Yes, I believe XRP could skyrocket a lot higher. But he doesn't put a timescale on this. He just moves through the timeline. But leaving behind $2, blasting to 5, blasting up to 10. I suspect he feels that's potentially the tip of this market, but probably not. Probably the midway point where we see things level off, potentially take a bit of a dip and a reset, build a new platform ready to boost again. And then he's talking about a $15 to $20 XRP. I know Barry C. I talk to him a lot. I know he feels $15 to $20 is more than achievable this bull run. I suspect he's right. I don't like making price predictions, but that one is as straightforward as you can be. He thinks we're going to see a minimum of $10, doesn't he? Going up to $15, $20 this time. And then what? We don't know if the utility comes into play more. It could go higher than that. It really could. I don't make price predictions because I genuinely don't know. I think there's so many moving parts to this. It's so difficult to try to guess which ones will come into play in the next 12 months and which ones won't. And it's also incredibly difficult to know which pieces of that final puzzle will boost prices sooner than others. We know the grand picture. You know, we can see the picture on the front of the box now. We've not got all the pieces in place yet. We can see the picture on the front of that box and we know it's a great looking picture for all of us. What we don't know is how long it takes to put every piece of that jigsaw together, if you like my analogy. The good thing is we're sitting there building the jigsaw as we go, and when it's finished, we're going to be very, very happy people. And in the meantime, each new piece that goes into place, we're one step closer, and the value goes up of all the units we hold. Next, this is only a snippet of a longer post from Chad Steingraber. Again, you know me, I love Chad Steingraber. Always give him a follow. Always take a look at his information. This is part of a much, much bigger thread that he released, but I just like this piece. XRP will become a reserve currency asset. Remember, from Ripple banks holding XRP, that's the holy grail. Remember, XRP can issue any other type of asset. CBDCs can be issued. This means that Bank of America will create Bank of America coin on the XRPL. We already know, we saw that video just now, there's all these systems in place, there's all these agreements in place behind the scenes. These guys are ready to roll. We've seen it in black and white. We just need these extra pieces of the puzzle to come in. For things like Bank of America, that's probably getting rid of SAB 121. It's probably replacing current regulations with new regulations that are going to be more favorable to the crypto industry. Right now, banks have to hold crypto assets on balance sheet. The moment they can hold them off balance sheet, it becomes entirely profitable for banks to offer crypto services to the guys like us, to offer it to the people not like us, the ones who don't want to deal with the new system. They want to do what they've always done, go into their broker, go into their bank, buy things that are recommended by their in-house financial advisor, their account manager, whatever it might be. That brings all those people, let's say baby boomer generation, who currently don't trust The new networks, the exchanges, they're not comfortable with self-custody. That brings all these guys in, and bringing those guys in brings billions, if not trillions of dollars of potential investment to the ecosystem, and that's still only retail money. We're not even talking about the banks themselves, the hedge funds themselves investing their own money, their own assets, managing huge portfolios for the whales of this world. We're talking about Grandpa Jim sticking 50,000 of his 250 grand pension in. You know, when we see the real switches come into play, I don't know how quickly it's going to go. There's always a case where people dip the toe in the water. It takes a bit longer than you like. That's only sensible, right? If I buy a new investment, I don't throw my whole portfolio in. I dip my toe in the water with a couple of $1,000 and see how it goes. My first ever purchase of XRP was $15 worth, to give you a good example. You know, now I wouldn't dream of going to all the trouble of logging onto my exchange to buy $15 worth. But back then I didn't know it, I didn't trust it, I bought $15 worth. It's the same thing. We're going to see that times, I'm going to go as far as to say 500 million, maybe 1 billion retail investors around the world dipping their toe in the crypto water over the next couple of years. Many of them will get burnt again because they buy at the wrong time again. That's just the way it works. But most will hold fire because it's only a small part of a portfolio. But all that money adds up. Next one. So this is Stephy Crypto. Again, I don't know this guy so well. He does have a YouTube channel. He has a page here on X. Give him a follow. Take a look what he says. This one's more optimistic than most people I showcase. But I think it's nice to see an optimistic outlook on things as well. Simple point, this is a warning to all XRP holders. The next 3 months are going to be incredible. Daily gains of 20 to 30% will become the norm once again. This is someone who's been through a crypto bull run before and somebody who knows how it works. Is he promising you that XRP will make 20 to 30% every day? Of course not. But what he's saying is we will see days like this. We will see this thing go berserk. He's got an optimistic looking chart in my opinion. He thinks we're going to see this. We are here now. You can see there. The previous time he shows the last major bull run, he shows you where he thinks we are roughly. We've got a long way to go. If we go anywhere near where he's saying, well, 175 US dollars would be nice per an XRP, wouldn't it? I don't know if he thinks we'll get there. I actually assume he probably doesn't. I watched one of his videos this morning. So he said, you know, he doesn't know where it will go. But in the same respect, this is entirely possible if the cycles repeat. I think we might be somewhere between that $15 and $35 mark. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't make price predictions again, but I don't think that's anything like unreasonable with the information we have to hand. And again, I'm all, no matter what I do when we hit my price targets, I'm always going to leave a moonbag in case I'm wrong. I'm going to leave a chunk of my portfolio, probably about 25%, sat there waiting, because if I am wrong, I will watch that continue to go up and I haven't missed the boat with all my investment, right? But anywhere around there, let's say from $35 up, I think most of us would agree that would be a significant amount of money in terms of investment returns. If you only hold a couple hundred XRP, it might not mean retirement for you. But again, as an investment return, that's a sensational return on investment if you bought in at 60 cents, $1, $2 if you just bought recently. Fantastic returns. Going through, this is a post from Anders. The more successful XRPL becomes, the more decentralized and resilient it becomes as well. This is one of its genius designs. This is not just in theory, you can witness it in real time. With the surge in XRP price alongside a plethora of tokens being launched on the XRPL, we've also witnessed the surge in new nodes being run. Over 200 new nodes are now running the XRPL just during the last few months. We're also seeing a lot of new validators being launched. As of now, 179 validators. So as XRP and the XRPL is becoming more and more successful and in usage by a variety of institutions and companies, we can expect more and more nodes and high quality validators from larger institutions running on XRPL. So expect XRPL to become more and more decentralized over time. Ripple's XRP holdings are also decreasing. We can see that. They released that from the escrow and it doesn't all go back in. Even though the holdings aren't used to secure the network, brackets as in POS coins such as ETH, we want as many institutions and companies to use, hold and build with XRP as possible. So XRP holdings are becoming more decentralized over time is a good thing. He shows you them with the nodes running on Ripple versions. It's, if you don't know all about how this works, do a little bit of digging yourself. What he's saying is essentially becoming more decentralized. It's a good thing. The more people that use this infrastructure for whatever reason they use it, it all works out better for us in the long run. More traffic, more people on the train, more train tickets are sold. Going back to that train analogy on the lines, right? Finally, just jumping in, one more. So this is another one from Smoke Dog talking about Bank of America's confidence in Ripple XRP's long-term potential. Bank of America holds the most financial services patents globally and has a reputation for selecting technologies with real lasting impact. In the graph below, it's clear that Ripple is the leader. It's clear that Ripple is the leader in blockchain financial services technologies compared to other blockchains. Ripple's involvement in financial services is even described as remarkable. Bank of America's partnership with Ripple and their testing of XRP within their systems strongly indicates their confidence in Ripple solutions. The confidence is especially noteworthy given Bank of America's stance that 99% of cryptocurrencies will disappear. It's an interesting point to make, isn't it? Bank of America have stated they think 99% of cryptocurrencies will disappear, and they have incredible amounts of conviction in XRP, in the XRPL, in Ripple themselves. So that's always a good thing. By partnering with Ripple, they signal that XRP is part of the small percentage of digital assets with real utility and staying power. This alignment between one of the largest financial institutions and Ripple reveals Bank of America's trust in Ripple's technology as a cornerstone for the future of global payments. It also serves as a reminder of Ripple's position as a leader in offering scalable blockchain solutions that can meet the demands of traditional finance 100%. He then goes on, he shows you the documentation. I won't go through all that. I've already been yapping on for 25 minutes. But again, find the post, take a look yourself, guys. You have to see this with your own eyes to really get a grasp of just how important all this is, just how much gravitas we should be placing on all this. Scrolling back up, just going back up here, one more post above. This is a guy, Ripple Me This. We become pally on X recently. We like each other's posts, so give the guy a follow as well. But stop thinking in terms of supply and market cap. That outdated way of thinking will cost you more than you would expect. Think bigger, much, much bigger. And I'm going to leave you on that basically, guys. I mean, again, what we're saying there, I've long been, of the opinion, stating to you guys that market cap is designed for stocks in companies, equity stocks in real life companies. We're not talking about stocks in companies here. Market cap is never, no one ever talks about the market cap of the United States dollar. No one ever talks about the market cap of the Thai baht. It's a different conversation. Does anyone even know the market cap of gold? We don't even know how much gold there is out there. It doesn't affect the ability for gold to go up in value regardless of how much money is currently held in gold via things like ETFs and gold bars and things like that, because it's a different conversation that doesn't really apply. Market cap's there for companies. We talk about the value of the share divided by things like everything that you would look at a company, how many staff they have, what the liabilities are, what debts they have and things like this. Market cap is applicable in those circumstances when determining whether the value of a share is good value for money. In things like currency, it's really pretty irrelevant. I do understand the argument that there isn't enough money in the world for XRP to be worth $20,000 a coin right now, if there's 100 billion coins. I understand that argument. There's no one going to tell you that $20 trillion is going to fly into it tomorrow. But in the same respect, market cap isn't designed for currencies. It's just not. If we're talking about the shares in Ripple, the company, yep, market cap is relevant. Of course it is. But it's not relevant when it comes to XRP, the currency. If you wanted to call it XRP, the commodity, it depends on how your viewpoint stands. Regardless, we don't talk about the market cap of uranium or the market cap of coal or anything like that. This is something that people keep applying because there's no other yardstick that they think is more relevant. You have to measure which coin has more active use than the others, which coin has more money invested into it right now than the others. And the only way to do that is to apply a market cap type figure where you're saying, well, there's this many coins in usage, so times that by the value of the coin. So they gives you some kind of measurement, so we can go back to something like this, coinmarketcap.com, and go, Bitcoin has got the most money in it right now. It's got $2 trillion market cap. Ethereum's got 442. That tells us that more people have money in those coins than in XRP. But that shouldn't be a limiting factor to the ability of these investments to grow, because to apply a market cap would assume that everybody had to buy their coins for, the market cap of Bitcoin is $2 trillion, so everyone had to buy their coin at 101,000. But we know that's not true, right? The vast, 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 vast majority of people didn't buy their Bitcoin for $102,000. Most people bought lower and they're currently sitting in profit. So the market cap doesn't act as a limitation to the ability to grow, or at least not a defining limitation, shall we say. Again, you couldn't expect $4 trillion to all go into XRP, or you couldn't expect a market cap of XRP to be worth $4 trillion without the price going to significantly higher amounts. And at some point, normal people get priced out of this thing. So I do appreciate that market cap holds a level of significance, but it's not the defining, limiting factor that people sometimes think it is. And that's what I think the guy was getting at, really. The more important point is think bigger, much, much bigger. That's the bit I really like about this. This thing's going to go to phenomenal levels over the next 10 years. Phenomenal levels. Whatever you do, buy a piece today and hold on to that piece. An affordable piece, money that you can afford to not see for 10 years, whatever it might be, or with a bit of luck you were buying sooner than today. You're not just listening to your first ever YouTube video about crypto, about to make your first purchase, but even that, buying today at $2.43 for XRP is going to be considered a bargain 10 years from now, no matter what happens. Go back 10 years ago with all the crap we've had with the SEC and everything else, and many, many people got dismayed out of XRP. That was a 7-year cycle. And now if you'd bought 10 years ago, you would be phenomenally happy with the decision you made. That's how these markets work. You buy, you hold, you wait till it's time. So you don't overcommit and don't put money in that you might need out before then. Put some in today that you're going to sell out in 6 months' time. Make a quick buck, of course. But for a long-term hold, I've never seen a better opportunity than cryptocurrencies in my life. I'm kind of with Bank of America on this. I think the vast majority will drop off. I don't think it's 99%, to be honest, but I think perhaps 90% will disappear. So I stick to investing in the ones I think are here for good. That's Bitcoin, Ethereum now, free pass or not, Ethereum's here to stay. They might see some difficult times moving forwards. You've got Solana, you've got XRP. Again, go back here. Take a look at the top 20. Most of these coins offer something. You've got Stellar, you've got HBAR, you've got Polkadot, you've got Uni. All of these things offer something more than just speculative opportunity for growth. And that's where I stick. I stick with the big boys that are more than likely to stay around. I think there's easily enough profit in those ones for me that I don't need to take a chance on meme coins. I don't buy meme coins. I bought Shiba Inu once. I guess that was a meme coin back then, but it's got an awful lot more behind it now. There's a big sort of... I like the fact that it's got a big following of people as well. But simple point is, buy solid crypto investments today and you will not be disappointed 10 years from now if you've managed to stay the course and hold it through. So I'm going to leave you with that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Please do drop me a comment in the comment section. Please go out and follow those guys I recommended. You won't regret it. They're all full of great information. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you very much for giving me all this time. It's been 34 minutes, so I've been yapping on for a while. To use my sign off that I promised my friend I'd use, stay classy, crypto.